And now it's time for RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
Hey everybody, Ken Chester here, RoadWorthy Drive behind the scenes. Thank you for joining us for another hour of our antics as we produce our radio show. In studio are the usual suspects, Jack at the controls,
hello,
Sasha at mic 2, and of course yours truly, the talent, holding it all down.
I don't know that I like to be called the usual suspect.
Right?
Yeah, but y'all are, so get over it.
But
Just
suspects to what?
Exactly.
What is my crime?
I am not going to disclose that at this time. Our topics, from the parts bin as usual, as we rummage around there. Ford has a better idea, and I'm going to talk to you about it, and I'm rather impressed with it, with respect to mobility. And then, would you believe your car knows a guy? Your car's connected. Not mobbed up, but connected. And we'll talk about that too. And then finally, urban congestion. And I don't mean chest congestion, people. I mean city congestion. A tale of three cities. They each took a slightly different approach to relieve congestion in the heart of their cities. We'll tell you how they did and why it might make sense for New York.
And he's talking about traffic.
Yes.
But could he say traffic? No!
Well, get over it.
I can't get over myself. I keep telling my wife that too, and she doesn't believe me.
Well, you need to work on that.
It's physically impossible. Go on.
However that works, people. But here we are. Welcome to another hour for RoadWorthy Drive behind the scenes. Thanks for tuning in. You ready, sir?
I'm
11
ready.
minutes.
11 minutes.
Sasha?
I'm
11
sorry,
minutes?
what?
11 minutes?
1-1? Is
11.
that what that...
Really? It's the new math, Sasha.
So it's 13.
No, 10 plus 1 is 11.
What?
There you go.
Here
New
we
math.
go. Here we go.
I tell you wanna go faster, yeah!
It's time for RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester. Ken is a nationally syndicated automotive journalist and photographer who has been in and around the industry for over 30 years. So tune in for your fill of automotive information and entertainment with your automotive ringmaster, Ken Chester.
Welcome to RoadWorthy Drive. I'm so glad you tuned in. I am your host, Ken Chester. As usual, we have plenty to talk about and discuss, so I'm going to want to get right to it. But first, if you are a first-time listener or not, it's easy to add your voice to the conversation. Call or text me on the RoadWorthy Drive line. That number, 872-222-9793. That number is good 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If email's your thing, I got you covered there too. My address is ken@roadworthydrive.com. Either way, I want to hear from you. In studio, as always, is the RoadWorthy Drive crew, my friend and executive producer, Jack at the controls, and our very own social media diva, Sasha, holding it down on mic 2. Howdy, people.
Hello.
Howdy.
How we doing?
We're doing good.
We're doing okay. Did not have a meeting between shows with the suits, so you're happy about that.
I am ecstatic, sir.
Yes.
Ecstatic.
I'm sure you are. So let's get in the parts bin.
You really?
I have a question.
Really? In the parts bin. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. What is your question?
What is Ford's better idea now?
Well, we're going to get to that. That's going to be a little.
Get to it.
Yes, but that'd be a little later. I'm not going to get to it right now.
Okay, why is it never mind, I read the script wrong. What's in the parts bin?
There you go. It's amazing what happens when people attend the pre-production meetings.
I was here.
Yes, but were you here?
No, because I'm not all there, but move on.
Okay. Here you go. Uber launches the Express Pool to conquer the commute. Uber is launching its latest innovation in ride hailing, the one it has spent the last year spinning up. Basically, it's kind of like carpooling, but more.
Okay.
This is the way it kind of works. They said it should save riders money as well as time. The Express Pool fares that they're using are 50% cheaper than your standard pool ride and up to 75% cheaper compared to Uber X. Basically, you want to go somewhere. And they see who else is going in that direction, and they may have you walk a block or to the nearest corner, and you'll ride with these other people to that place and then finally walk to where you're going. It's kind of like carpooling, kind of not, but they think it's going to be they think it's going to work. They tested it. I think they tested it in San Francisco and Boston first.
Okay.
They're now rolling it out in Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Miami, Denver, and Los Angeles, and, of course, San Diego.
Of course.
Of course. So that's what's supposed to happen. The issue, though, is this going to really put a crimp in regular public transportation? Because really, public transportation is what you do. You go to a corner, you go to a bus stop,
right,
or a train stop. You take the train to where you go, and then you get off and you walk wherever you need to go.
Correct.
And there's some question about that. A recent study from the Shared Use Mobility Center looked at data from a large, unnamed Royal Haid service, likely Uber or Lyft, in 6 major cities, and determined that, trips spiked between 7 p.m. on midnight on the hours of Fridays and Saturdays. But what they're looking for is to spread that out. They want more business on other times of the day. Hence, Uber Express Pool.
Okay.
Food for thought there. That's kind of as far as I'm
I
going
just
to
see
go
a couple problems with that.
Can you?
Because I don't even know how to say this.
Go for it.
In English.
That too.
Slowly. It's a thing.
If I get in a vehicle
Mm-hmm.
and there are people in that vehicle who my sense is they make me uncomfortable,
Then you get out of the
that's
vehicle.
going to be a really rough ride for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
but that happens on public transportation.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much regular. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, when I lived in Boston, went to college back in the day, oh, yeah, Friday nights on the T, oh, yeah. On my way home with my new bride, yeah, the drunk kids get in and throw up right in front of you. That's a lot of fun.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Happened. It's a thing.
Okay, move on.
Okay. Guess I didn't like that, Sasha.
Right? I'm not thinking that there was a lot of love for that story.
Yeah.
No.
I thought it was very heartwarming.
Indeed.
I especially like the drunk kids part.
I'm sure you did. How about parking systems? We'll talk about parking systems.
Parking systems.
They've reduced accidents. Parking assist systems reduce accidents.
Assist systems. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, when he said parking assistance, I thought he was talking about valet.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Or the equipment that takes in the parking garages that take your feet.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one of those, actually?
What?
I've seen a couple of those in Germany where it's totally automated. You move your car in, it lifts it up, turns it around, parks it in a spot, all automatically.
Yep.
And, of course, we talked about that Porsche building that they're building down in Miami that does the same thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. But we're not talking about that.
So we're talking about that little button that will finally allow me to parallel park.
No, although there are vehicles that do that.
I know. I want one.
Yes, but we're not talking about that either.
Oh.
Sorry. What we're talking about is parking assist systems like a rear view camera.
Oh.
Okay.
Now,
Have one of those.
rear view cameras have been around, believe it or not, and I did not know this, since 2002.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
According to the Highway Loss Data Institute, which is a part of the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, they say that any new system or device takes about 30 years to be adopted by most of the
To
vehicles.
become standard.
Not so much standard, but to be found in about 95% of the vehicles on the road.
Okay. All right.
So you're looking at about 250 million vehicles, 95% of that.
Okay.
Now, they expect that rear view cameras will be in at least half of the vehicles on the road in America by 2021. And they're considering NHTSA, which is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, considers the technology a way to reduce back-over crashes involving children and pedestrians.
Okay, I can see that, but I want to go back to your earlier point. Right now, other than what I'm going to call the starting point cars, as in models,
Okay.
you probably don't have it, but you're getting closer to the middle of the road with that becoming a standard feature, having that rear view camera.
Yeah, they expect 50% of the vehicles on the road, or 125 million vehicles, to have that equipped with that by 2021.
But don't you think in this model year that you're over 50% of the vehicles now?
No.
Really?
I think that, well, most of your vehicles being sold now have it.
Correct.
But that's only 17 million vehicles, as opposed to 250 million vehicles.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is they're more common than they used to be.
Because they're standard on more vehicles than they used to be. In the early days, it was extra cost. Today, they're standard, and there's a reason for that. May 2018, NHTSA will require them on cars.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
And
so now we're talking entry level and up.
yeah, which in most cases, they're already standard. The vehicle I'm driving now, which is a compact car,
Right.
has it. And in fact, vehicles that I've been driving, new vehicles have had it for some time. It's rare that a vehicle doesn't have it. I'd say probably the last 3 to 4 years of most of the vehicles that I've evaluated as a journalist have had the rear drive cameras. Now, other systems that are coming into being, rear parking sensors, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, forward collision warning, adaptive headlights, which kill me because adaptive headlights were actually invented by Preston Tucker
Yep.
in 1948.
And for those of you who are too young, what that means is when you turn the car in whichever direction, the lights turned with you.
Yeah, except on the Tucker, they had a middle light that did that. We call that adaptive front lighting headlights.
Yep.
Fancy term. Automatic emergency braking, which is the newest one. However, again, NHTSA requires that to be standard by 2022. Companies are adopting that ahead of time. Just like they adopted a lot of the safety features NHTSA required as of 2011, a lot of vehicles had it by 2008, 2009. So that usually when it comes to safety, they take a step ahead. In the case of, and I'm naming this name, Toyota, they've taken the liberty to make a lot of this stuff standard across their lineup, even down to their least expensive cars.
Yep.
So there is some hope. But they say that NHTSA thinks that 1 out of 6 accidents could be prevented due to this, due to rear view cameras.
Well, and I would agree with them.
So,
Because I know, for one thing, it makes my backing up a whole lot easier when I can look at that camera and know actually where my truck is.
add to that emergency braking behind that that has the ability to stop, even if you didn't see it. Not a bad thing. Next up, Ford's better idea about mobility. You are listening to RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
This is RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
All right, so
You've got my Plymouth commercial, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I love my Plymouth.
I
miss my Plymouth.
they want to make carpooling an app, and then it's with an Uber driver. So instead of him just taking one person, he would meet them at a central location.
Not necessarily central, a location that is convenient for,
The driver.
no, not necessarily convenient for picking these people up.
And does the app like pool these people together?
Yes, that's the whole thing. It could take up to 2 minutes, but the app will go look at, okay, who else is looking for an Uber who is willing to carpool?
Now,
in this
as
area.
a driver, curious, are those 4 people paying for the one ride because I am going from point A to point B? Or am I, as the driver, getting paid 4 different times?
Did I mention that the Uber Express pool is up to 50% less than standard Uber?
Oh, I would hate that as a driver.
They didn't get into how the driver's compensated to make it worth the driver's while.
Yeah.
It would have to be worth the driver's while.
Yeah,
Why?
well, that
Because
only
do you
makes
get what I'm
sense.
saying, Jack? I mean,
Totally, I get
And that's why they have surge pricing. That's why they have Uber X, which is I want it when I want it.
key to get back in?
I don't have to go that far.
Okay. He stepped out. Must have been too much for him. We can be intense sometimes.
It can happen.
It's a thing.
So yeah, I find that a little curious as to how that would work from the driver standpoint. But evidently, they found enough drivers to do it in the 2 cities where they tested it.
They must have made it worth their while, whether they underwrite it. And in fact, they did for a while. They say now, when they first started, the matching was less than 10%.
Right.
They say matching's now up over 60. Okay. And as they get more matching, apparently, however it's divided, well, think about it. You're taking those 4 people from here to here, not here to here.
Yeah.
So, you know, even if you cut each of their fares by half, driver's still making double than if he was hauling one person, if you had 4 people.
Yeah.
So, you know, gets there.
Yeah, and I just,
They didn't get into how the driver got compensated.
I know, you said that. I was just curious. And then, I don't know, the whole carpooling thing as far as an app goes. I guess if I was a, we had talked about the Uber drivers and the female Uber drivers being less compensated, but maybe like with a group, she might feel a little bit more at ease.
Or less.
Yeah, that's true too. That is true too.
That's the whole thing about mobility. Again, the best example I can give, it's a mosaic.
Yeah.
You know, it's not monolithic. There are a lot of little pieces to it that will work for some people some of the time here under these circumstances. The thing people need to realize is that our monolithic buy a car, lease a car, individual ownership model is no longer the model.
Yeah. Yeah, I am waiting for, you know, I don't want to say a certain canvas.
We
but
got it. Really? Really? You had to go all there?
I think that you should be proud. I went from, oh my gosh, is that the F word to I would drive the F word because it comes with a canvas.
She still can't let it go, Jack.
I can't.
You're talking about canvas?
Yes.
He brought it up. He brought up different car ownership models.
But that's only one piece of the mosaic.
Well, and that's fine. It can be one piece of the mosaic, but I got to agree with her. If it would get her into a better car.
Yep.
To be able to use a service like that.
But why own a car?
Well, but
in this world we're coming to.
But in the car subscription service, do you own the car?
No.
But my point is, but why even be bothered with having to maintain it?
Right. Because they take care of it.
Yeah. But maybe I don't even want to go through all that.
Well, that's your prerogative.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, for me personally, bring on the subscription model, please. Canvas. What?
Really?
I mean,
by the way, if she goes to Canvas, gets it, and brings it back, we're taking pictures.
Yep, we are,
because we need bribery material.
There you go, man after my own heart.
What?
Let me reset this here.
Thought we were friends.
Oh,
we are.
That's why he warned you first. Because we friend like that.
Because we friendly like that.
We friendly like that.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm ready.
We got the ad up.
I got the ad.
Okay, 9 minutes, people.
9.
Segment 2.
2.
Whoa. Hold it. What the heck happened here?
Uh-oh.
Hold on. I'm not ready. Thought I was. Got messed up here. That's why we highlight this stuff. So that we know what we got. And we look at stuff and make sure we're reading the right stuff. I didn't tuck. Oh, yeah, we did. Those are there for that. All right. We shall wait for her. I don't know why she suddenly left us.
I don't know.
The joys of a live video feed. You see people wandering in and out of the studio. Happens.
Well, it was a better thing that I walked out of the studio for a moment.
Okay. I'll accept that.
And that's all I'm going to say.
I'm fine with that. Now we need her to get back and we can get going.
No, we just go.
We'll wait for her. We'll wait a second and see what's going on with her. So.
And I would say, by taking a look at the lighting behind us, I would say we're about to get some rain.
Yeah. If it's not started already.
And also probably some thunderstorms, I hear.
Lovely.
And by Wednesday, we'll have snow again.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah.
You are just a beacon of good news.
Well, Dude, there is nobody that wants spring worse than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like I said, we just got past our girls' basketball tournament here. And usually when that thing happens...
It's all kinds of snow.
Yeah. Blizzards, Armageddon, that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, but boys is next week.
Well, yeah, which should be the week that the girls used to play.
So, yeah. So we're going to get clobbered next week.
Yeah.
Lovely. Fun time, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Give her a minute.
Yep. I was about to say it's too bad that we don't have an affiliate yet in Georgia.
Because?
Oh, I know somebody that I would go after advertising-wise down there.
Okay, who?
The company that supplied my sister's last handicap van.
Well, we'd need more than one affiliate, I'm sure, down there.
No, I'm sure you're right.
That would be interesting. So.
And I will tell you this, they deliver nationally because they delivered the vehicle up here.
Everything okay?
Everything hokey dokey? Cool.
All right,
are we now ready?
We are 9 minutes in second segment.
Yep.
Okay. Ready when you are,
Here we
boss.
go.
Plymouth is out to win you over this year.
Plymouth is out to win you over with the 67 Valiant. As easy on your pocketbook as it is on your eyes. You'll have to keep reminding yourself it's a compact. Unexpected extras and unexpected luxury make Valiant a win-you-over buy. Up front, plenty of power, yet it's the compact that still carries a compact price.
Plymouth is out to win you over this year. Follow your heart to your Plymouth dealer today.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to RoadWorthy Drive. Welcome. I'm your host, Ken Chester. Over the last few years, I've been talking about the evolution of transportation choices here in the United States. Both General Motors and the Ford Motor Company several years ago declared that the current model of individual vehicle ownership was, and this is their words, no longer sustainable. Their words, I want to say this again. This has been their model for the first 100-plus years of their existence. And they declared, both companies said, the model of individual vehicle ownership was no longer sustainable.
Yep.
In fact, both Ford and Toyota are pivoting to be known as mobility companies as opposed to being vehicle manufacturers. And I thought I would examine and discuss how and what Ford is doing, for example, with regards to that pivot. And I start with this. Ford paves a path from big automaker to big operating system.
Okay, it sounds like they're getting into computers now.
Uh-huh. Now the company that helped put a car or two and an occasional truck in every garage wants to be something else altogether, an operating system. With the power of AI,
artificial intelligence.
Thank you. And the rise of autonomous connected vehicles for the first time in a century, we have mobility technology that won't just incrementally improve the old system, but can completely disrupt it. That was said by Ford CEO Jim Hackett at the Consumer Electronics Show this year. A total redesign of the surface transportation system with humans and the community at the center. In fact, Ford said they would put less effort into convincing people to plunk down their credit cards for personal cars, even though it's still important, and more into moving them from point A to point B with a little Ford badge tucked on or whatever gets them there.
There you go.
Canvas. No, I didn't. I didn't.
What?
Nothing.
Canvas? Did I hear canvas?
No, you didn't.
Canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying canvas.
Yeah, I understand.
Let it go.
No kidding. It's a turbulent time, and they got to keep making money today while investing for the future. And we've talked about some companies that we're convinced ain't going to get there.
No.
So, but what I like about Ford, and what I'm going to take a few more minutes to talk about, is Ford's approach. Ford is approaching this like a tech company. And what a tech company does is they will take and look at promising technologies and invest across. Ford is even coming up with their own investment incubator called Ford X, where they will actually put money in and nurture small promising companies with future technology.
Okay, what kind of future technology are we actually looking at?
Well, let's talk about the two companies they just bought.
Okay.
One is called Autonomic, which has a cloud-based platform called the Transportation Mobility Cloud. It's kind of they want to build an iOS for cities, managing data and transactions between city dwellers and agencies and companies that provide, get this, payment processing, route mapping, mass transit, and city infrastructure services. That's just for openers. The other company they bought is called Translock. They help make software for to help cities, corporate campuses, and universities manage what? Their transportation systems, from traditional fixed route service to on-demand ride-hailing apps like Uber and Lyft. I like that. Why? Because, again, the mosaic I keep talking about of mobility, nobody sitting here today knows. And it's not going to be one size fits all. It just isn't going to be. There's going to be a lot of different things that work in different parts of the country for different people in different situations. What the Ford Motor Company is attempting to do is saying, hey, mosaic, we want to be a piece of that mosaic. So we're going to invest over a wide variety of different options to try to put together something comprehensive that will address the many different needs, changes, desires, loads, however, for the future.
Okay, here's a question that I have. And it kind of goes back to where Sasha lives, in the rural area. It just seems like to me now.
The rural area.
Out there with those people.
In the middle of flyover country.
Wow.
Okay.
They call this the middle of flyover country.
I understand that.
Okay.
However, what I want to go back to is it almost seems like to me that the car companies are saying, oh, we're going to do this in the cities. Well, we're going to do this in the cities, but nobody's talking about how this is going to affect the people who live in the rural areas.
But you know what? If anybody would figure it out, it would be Ford.
And honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to plug anything, but
Canvas.
A large tarp that is used for both tents and,
for those of y'all that may not know, you've heard us drop the word. Canvas is Ford's subscription-based service that they have developed in San Francisco and Los Angeles.
You need to plug this correctly.
Yes.
Canvas is the future of automotive options.
Right now, excuse me, right now they're in 2 cities. But it's a subscription service that will not only let you get a car, but Sasha loves the economics of it so much, she lost her mind when I reported it.
Yes.
Just
yes, I
completely
did.
lost her mind.
But anyway, it goes to my point with something like that service. If I live out in the rural and I'm getting ready to send my child off to college, it makes more sense to me for the money that I pay for a Canvas type subscription so my child doesn't have to worry about oil changes, tires, if they hit something. All that's included for the one price that I'm paying for them a month.
Okay, but let me make these points before we go to break. Ford's whole plan, bring life back to the cities by accelerating our delivery of mobility services and through changes we're making today. We are enabling that revival, enhancing our competitiveness, and creating long-term value for Ford shareholders. And all I got to say is imagine 50 years from now what the transportation mosaic may look like. And Ford has covered it. Ford X, I talked about, a mobility business group, mobility platforms and products mobility, marketing, and growth. These are the 4 areas Ford is focusing on. So they're doing more than just talking about it. They're putting their money where their mouth is. And I really like their approach because they realize that the future is not one size fits all. When I come back, I know a guy. I think your car's connected. This is RoadWorthy Drive.
RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester is America's premier automotive news and information talk show.
Yeah. So, Canvas being one part of that.
But, I mean, I'm serious. It's one of those things where Jack's got a very good point. Everybody's talking about connected in
Whoa.
bless you,
Excuse me.
in
Was
a
that
city
connected?
platform.
No, that was not connected.
That was
Okay,
not connected to
okay.
the, okay.
Just checking.
But as far as the rural type environment, what goes on? And hold on, because here's the thing. Jack and I were talking over the lunch break.
What?
Stop. As one that I don't drive a new vehicle because I have been in a new vehicle before, and Bambi decided that they did not like my new vehicle. Now, my
Sounds
insurance...
like a you problem.
It was a very much me problem.
Okay.
Yes. Now, my insurance covered what they thought my car was worth. Okay? I was still liable for the remainder of the loan.
You didn't negotiate?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, Ken's rule, negotiate your insurance settlement.
Right? And even with it was they were not, they were very, 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 So anyway, on top of, I also had to scramble up money for a new vehicle. Now, for me, does that make sense for me to go out and buy a $20,000 vehicle that could be, unless I get the...
Gap insurance.
Yeah, the gap insurance, which still, that would take care of the loan, but now I still got to come up with the money for another down payment for another vehicle. So for someone like me, does it make sense that I spend $20,000 and pray upon everything holy and just in the universe that another creature that does not exceed 30 pounds does not come out of the wilderness and decide to go after my car?
Just don't drive from October to January.
See, and I was thinking about that.
But again, Mosaic. You know, not all companies are talking about mobility. An increasing number are looking at it, but what you're missing, and I keep saying, yeah, they're talking to cities because that's where the densities are.
Well,
But a lot of these things that they propose have traction outside of the city, and in fact may have more traction outside of the cities and in the smaller towns. So all I'm saying, and the whole point here for Ford is looking at the whole mosaic. I mean, they got bicycle services, they got ride-sharing services with their vans called Chariot.
Yep.
They've got Canvas. They've got their mobility services unit working with cities, which is genius because if you're going to fix the problem, you're going to need the city's involvement. I didn't cover everything I brought on that subject. But trust me when I tell you, if anybody has the broadest concept of going forward to try what works and being open-minded about looking at everything, believe it or not, it's the Ford Motor Company.
Yep.
And the only other company I would say don't sell short is Toyota.
See, and I was just about to ask that. I mean, a lot of what I'm hearing about Toyota, they're doing theirs not as loud and proud as Ford, but they are.
You mean there's no Canvas over there?
No, there's no. Because believe me, if there was over there with Toyota,
You'd have a truck. I know.
I would have a Tundra. Yes.
Yeah. Continue.
I lost my train of thought. I'm seeing myself driving a Tundra now.
Well, get over it.
For those
It's
of
okay.
you that are listening, I'd prefer it in a nice dark blue.
Yeah, let it
with
go,
leather
Sasha.
interior.
Sasha.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway,
let it go.
So
Ding. Okay.
and a sunroof. But anyway,
Oh my goodness.
it's true that you're not hearing a whole lot of what Toyota has going on, behind the curtain.
Toyota and Honda are taking mobility literally. What they're even going beyond the vehicle, and we've reported that here.
Right.
The personal assistance. Honda has had some variation of the personal assistance for some time.
Okay.
And then we talked about Toyota helping that retired Army Ranger
Yep.
in his home.
Yep.
So, I wouldn't say they're not. Theirs is more literal,
Okay. All right.
but still will have some impact and some benefit down the road. Again, mosaic, people. Mosaic. Okay.
I'm sorry. What is the word that you keep using again?
Canvas.
Ah, yes.
What was that movie that had squirrels or anything in it?
What? Who?
What was that
Squirrel.
movie?
It was an animated movie. What
It
was
was an
that?
animated movie, yeah.
Squirrel.
I'll find it. Are you ready, sir?
That's what
I think that was
scares me,
from
that he
Up.
would find it.
Is that
Oh,
from
yes.
Up?
Oh, with the dog.
Yeah. Squirrel.
Yeah. Poor
Yeah.
dog. That movie made me sad.
No, but you know the one that I absolutely love was Open Season, where it was a squirrel and he was like all hyper all the time, and so he he runs
Wasn't
down
that-
the one side of the hedge. I think it was called Over the Hedge.
You
and
sure
it
that
had-
wasn't one of the Ice Age movies?
No.
That's
no.
Squirrel
I
Less
thought,
than mine.
I thought Squirrel Shiny thing was Ice Age.
Might
No.
be.
I
Poor,
don't know. Anyway,
poor
let's
squirrel.
go.
9 minutes.
9.
Third segment.
Number 3.
Okay, let's do it, peoples.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. We are now in the back 40 of this hour of Roadworthy Drive. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Ken Chester. For those of you that desire more than your fair share of the road, not to worry. Check out the show website. That's roadworthydrive.com. Find audio clips of past shows, videos of our behind-the-scenes going-ons in studio as we produce the show, and more. The website is a great place to discover what we're doing to keep you current between shows in the world of social media. Sasha's our social media diva who keeps things light and lively as she posts timely and topical automotive news and technology. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter to see how she keeps the social in our social media. Ain't that right, Sasha?
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
I know that's right. The connected car, people. You know, everybody jokes about, I know a guy. Your car knows a guy, too. The problem is the car shares what they know about you, and that could be the problem. Unlike the self-driving or autonomous car of the near future, pretty much any vehicle that is 2011 model year or newer is connected. GPS, Bluetooth, even a Wi-Fi hotspot, you're connected up, and guess what? The world is connected to you. I thought I'd talk about that a bit. Let me jump to an example, because I'm curious to see how Jack would feel about this. And
Jack, how do you feel?
wait a minute, I'm going to ask him the question. I
Oh,
set it up
I
yet.
feel a rant coming on.
Okay, then. Picture this, Jack. You're driving home from work, contemplating what to make for dinner. And as you idle at a red light near your neighborhood pizzeria, an ad offering $5 off a pepperoni pie pops up on your dashboard screen. How do you feel about that?
I'd feel a little weird.
How so?
Right now on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm in Facebook or especially YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
I get ads all the time and it does nothing but make me angry.
Mm-hmm. But what if you're hungry?
Dude, that's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week experience for me.
So you're saying if you're in the mood for pizza, you take the $5 off and make the left turn to the pizzeria?
Not without talking to Leanne first.
Okay. In case you're wondering, Leanne's the missus.
The missus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mrs. Jack. Yeah, we got that.
Happy wife, happy life.
There you go. Smart man, actually. But this is part of what could happen.
Well, it's part of what is happening, isn't it?
Not yet to the cars. It's happening, like you said, Facebook does it.
YouTube does it.
Yahoo does it.
Google does it.
Yep. So are you comfortable? What about you, Sasha?
No.
Why not?
Not at all.
Why not?
If I pre-program my phone to tell me about new places that I have not tried yet, mom and pop's single ownership, And if I'm able to pre-program it that way, absolutely, I'd be okay with that. Let's say I'm in a city. Let's say I'm in, where we're at now, Des Moines. And I want to go to a family-owned mom and pop's business, okay? Non-franchised. They own it. They're in the back. That's where I want to go. Little hole in the wall, okay?
Right.
If I'm able to pre-program my settings to that, absolutely. But you know what? I'm not willing to give franchises any more money.
You would object to, you're driving down a major artery in Des Moines here.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, a big ad on your windshield pops up that says, Pizza Hut, $10 off any pizza.
I would be livid.
Well, let's clarify something. First of all,
it's not on the windshield.
It's not on the windshield.
It's on that
It's on the, are you talking
It'd
about?
be your infotainment system.
Okay.
Your infotainment
Okay.
system.
Wait. Are they talking about the infotainment system that we're, like, in front of you? Like
That's
in the
not
dash?
an infotainment system.
Okay,
That's
so-
a dashboard, dear.
No, you know what I'm saying.
Well, isn't there something where they can project stuff up on the window?
Right, that's
that
what I
is a
meant.
heads-up display.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they would not put it there.
Okay.
That's a safety issue.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I can see that.
Particularly if you don't like pizza. That could
No.
be that
Oh,
could be
who
dire.
doesn't like pizza?
There's some people.
I've
just
got
saying.
a child that does not like pizza.
Really?
There
Yeah.
you go.
I'm pretty sure she's a pod person, but it's okay.
Oh, wow. Wow. Here's a question, though.
'Kay.
So, as the article asks, are you annoyed that your car is trying to sell you something or pleasantly persuaded?
Annoyed.
There's one company that's developing in-car advertising software, and they're betting you wouldn't mind much. And, wait a minute, the car companies are looking to earn some extra money. Hope so, too.
But we talked about something like this, where what are they going to do with the times in the autonomous vehicle, with all
Yeah,
that
but stop
glass?
a minute. Stop a minute. We're not even that far. I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, no.
No.
Right this
absolutely
minute.
No.
Because your car is connected and there's information going up, coming down. My wife's new vehicle, every time she starts it, it tells her, and you have to press the OK, that, some information is going to be transmitted from your vehicle. Oh, yeah. Most new vehicles, you have that warning.
Now,
In fact,
I don't have that warning in my truck.
unless you overrode it.
But
Okay,
when they deliver the vehicle to me, it is from that day to today is how it is.
Unless they disabled it. Right now,
I hope so.
Well, let me think about that. Because right now, GM and Ford is not doing it. That's why.
Oh, see. Now-
But the other automakers kind of are.
Okay, now
Or they're heading in that direction. I
is
should
that
say.
information coming also from my phone?
No.
Like, so when it's pitching me like what you said, a pizzeria commercial.
It knows where your car is.
Right, but it's not going off of like,
The phone, no.
did I order like Papa John's or something like that off of my phone?
Correct.
Using an app.
At this time.
Yeah, see?
But, with all the information, and we have talked till we changed colors with regard to cybersecurity, how much privacy you're giving up. What the automakers are looking at and working with vendors right now is maybe offering you more free equipment in return for being able to pitch you stuff. Like, for example, they may offer you navigation for free in your vehicle. It's worth about $1,700 in exchange for occasional commercials. Now, in Sasha's case, if you can program out or opt out, that would be my question. What if I don't want to be bothered at all? Can I opt out? My research doesn't answer that question yet because this is still kind of evolving.
And what I'm wondering is if we're not back to the point of legislation's that far behind, because at some point in time, somebody's going to sue somebody over this.
Could be. But if the automakers are smart, they will, in order to avoid that kind of foolishness, they will get to a point where they'll either allow you to say,
Opt out.
either I would entertain advertisements or offers from this, this, and this, but not this, this, and this, or I want out completely. And that's just ethical business.
I want out completely.
And that's just ethical business. And I think they have to eventually let you do that. It will not stop, and they make a difference. There's some information that they call as safety information. In other words, vehicle to infrastructure information. That both your car in position will load up and that the infrastructure will load down. That stuff probably will happen because you want it to for safety reasons.
Correct.
And then there's this stuff, where you're located, what you're willing to accept, will you accept advertising at all, which is totally different. And we're getting to that point where that conversation is going to need to be had. Finally, and at last, urban congestion and a tale of three cities. And yes, I mean traffic. Roadworthy Drive with Ken Chester is heard exclusively on the Roadworthy Drive Radio Network.
You're tuned in to Roadworthy Drive with Ken Chester.
Okay, you look perplexed.
Yeah, is there an issue, Sasha?
The mic's off.
Yeah. Ooh. We're done. Yeah. In any case, so you guys would opt out.
Oh, heck yes.
I would
All
opt out,
day
yeah.
long I'd opt
Yeah,
out.
I mean, here's my thing. Where are we going to draw the line to commercialization and the intrusion that they are trying to infiltrate in every single sector of our lives? At what point are the American people going to say, stop, just stop? I mean, I've got...
We already have.
And one of the reasons why a lot of people went to satellite radio, yes, there's advertising there.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Very little.
It's very, very
it's
little.
very, very little. They want to be able to listen to music.
Yeah.
Why? And I'm going to say this, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying this. But why do you think a lot of people have gone to the iHeartRadio app and built their own station?
Yep. Yep.
They don't. They want to hear the music. They don't want the
Why
advertising.
do you think podcasts are so popular right now? Because they want to hear people's opinions, but they don't want to hear the commercialization that goes with it.
And that presents, and folks, that presents a problem. Because at the end of the day, if you're selling something in this country, you have to reach out to people somehow.
Well, I know, but
here's okay.
But there comes a point of oversaturation, right?
Okay, I get what you're saying with that, but here's my thing. Here is my point to that. If you have a great product, if you have a great service, you don't need to spend a dime on advertising.
That's cute.
Nope. Jiffy's has never once, .com, ever spent a dime.
How much competition they got?
A lot.
No.
When you say Jiffy,
Jiffy's.
what are you talking about?
She does
The
Jiffy corn muffin mix.
and they make cake mix.
Chelsea Milling Company of Chelsea, Michigan.
Okay.
Yes.
They rarely, if ever,
They
have
do not.
advertised in their almost 70-plus years.
And they remain one of the top 10 companies to work for in the United States.
But the question is, what else are they doing, or what else did they do when they set
they
up?
made
Honestly?
a darn good product.
Honestly.
And it's word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If
But-
I have, the other one, and I will take this, Arizona tea is another one. It's Arizona, the ones that come in the tin can that they say 99 cents right on the can, not a dime in advertisement. And they will not allow a grocer or whoever sells their product to sell it for more. Now, why do they continue to be a company that proceeds to make money with all of the other options there to drink? Because they make a good product.
And that's wonderful. But unfortunately,
People don't make good products.
I disagree. There's a lot of great mom-and-pop products out there that you'll never discover.
That might be true.
Oh, it is true.
No, that
But
is true.
take Sturging's potato chips. If I did not live here in Iowa, I might not even know of their existence. And they are
Best
the only
potato
potato
chips ever.
Especially with the sour cream. Ching-ching.
No, you don't even need sour cream with these.
We differ on this.
Yeah,
but
we
by
will.
the same token,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely, he is correct. Some of that is by isolation, depending on where that product is available. Sometimes it just depends on whether they decide to make... Go ahead.
What is the alcohol? Oh, Templeton Rye.
Templeton, Iowa.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another one.
And that
I've
is-
never had it, but
and,
I've heard of it.
And that is one that does very little advertising.
Unfortunately, however, while this is very adorable, you are in a competitive world where if you've got 2 or 3 strong brands, you've got to differentiate yourself.
Okay, but here's my thing.
Because the brands you're talking about have been around for years and years and years and years.
And they've managed to keep their heads above
in
water.
a day long before social media. If you're a new company starting out now, you don't have that same opportunity to make that kind of splash. People don't shop that way.
And you're right about that, too.
But
anymore.
maybe how much of that is because you get splattered with so much of the multi-million-dollar, oh my gosh, eat here at McDonald's, that you don't necessarily get to hear from mom and pops because they don't have the multi-million dollars to splatter your TV and your radio and your car and your cell phone and your kid's school.
But let's make the point. Let's bring this point close to home. This program.
What about it?
How many people you think know about us? It's growing.
Right.
We've been at it off and on now for 3 years.
Yep.
We don't have the money to advertise.
Right.
So as opposed to other people who are out there, and I won't name drop, but other larger organizations who we may agree may not be as good as what we're doing, and nobody's doing completely what we're doing.
Right.
Let that settle in.
Okay, but are you...
Could we have made a bigger impact if we had money to advertise?
Yeah.
That's all my point.
But here's my thing to counter that.
Yeah, come on.
I think that instead of...
What you got, sis?
Instead of putting the money out in advertising, I think that if we would have put the money out to make us more readily available at car shows and go to like the ones that are available and put the money there, so that way we're there in people's faces talking about what we know. And so that way, and exposure.
So you'll get maybe instead of the crowd we have now, you'll add, an extra 100 people.
But would they be 100 influential people?
Not necessarily.
Like,
Not necessarily.
Like one of the co-founders from Pedal, or perhaps one of the representatives from Canvas. I mean, are they going to be 100 influential people that might know someone else, who might know someone else?
Let me put it to you this way.
You do that.
Canvas is on the West Coast.
And?
We're here.
I can travel to the West Coast.
I'm sure you can.
I can.
I'm sure you can.
I will.
The girl will never let this go.
No, she won't.
You know, if we ever get a representative for Ford's Canvas, she'll be all over it.
Oh, I've already got the spiel that I'm going to pitch him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the right Ford dealership that he needs to launch Canvas at right here in Iowa, make it a Midwest tradition. Yes, absolutely.
Canvas, though. All right, people.
Get working on that.
I am.
I would like to be able to pull them in on a show.
I know.
Because I've got multiple questions for them.
And you're a Ford guy.
Yeah, I am a Ford guy.
I am not.
He wants,
I'm a recent convert.
He wants to get a Canvas style Ford truck.
I know that's right.
Nobody.
I know. And what is the return policy?
He wants a 2019 already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Oh, really?
8 minutes, 50 seconds. We're in fourth quarter.
They do have to understand, though. I might be a recent convert, but it's only until Toyota comes out with something.
Oh, Lord.
What?
On that note.
850.
850.
Got to have principles.
Is that what you call them now?
Shut up.
I thought it was scruples.
Wow. So much wowness.
Shoot. And I thought it was Pringles, but.
I got nothing.
You really need to tune in to our behind-the-scenes conversations that we post to our website so that you can see the video of the conversations that happened during the break.
The only thing that I wish was we had another camera so we could actually get Sasha in the shot and see her facial expressions.
Precious. Yeah. It's kind of like those old MasterCard commercials. Yeah.
No.
Look on Sasha's face. Priceless.
No.
Thank you.
I stay completely off camera. It's what's best. As Jack would say, I have a face for radio.
Oh, I do too, but look where I'm sitting.
I got nothing.
Of course you don't.
Welcome to the last installment of this hour Roadworthy Drive. I'm Ken Chester. When it comes to transportation, we have talked about a wide variety of topics and issues that cover the spectrum. Everything from cars and trucks to self-driving vehicles, flying vehicles, God forbid, and more. I just had an image of Jack in a flying vehicle. It was
No, I was thinking more along the lines of Sasha.
Even less. Okay. For this last topic, I wanted to spend a bit of time talking about the impact of traffic on 3 cities and their current approaches to deal with traffic today and the near future. It holds some truths that may indeed be a cautionary tale for large cities here in the United States. See what you think.
Okay.
This was a New York Times article that was last week, and the title was 3 Far-Flung Cities Offer Clues to Unsnarling Manhattan Streets. Now, when people think of cities and you think of congestion pricing, you typically think of London, right?
No, I would have thought of New York City.
Yeah, well, New York's been trying to do that, but obviously a lot of pushback. What they've been proposing that they wanted to do for downtown New York was a flat rate of $11.52 a day for cars and $25.34 for trucks for entering what they call a congestion zone in Manhattan, which would stretch, oh my goodness, from 60th Street south to the Battery? Yikes!
Wow.
That's almost the entire
That's
thing,
10 blocks north of Times Square, all the way down to the Battery, where the World Trade Center used to be.
Wow.
Okay.
Yikes. Now, granted, I was down there last year, and they need something. I mean, it is just gridlock. And like I said before, you're more likely to get hit by a bicycle in Manhattan than you are a car.
I mean, I guess my first reaction to that was, well, then I just won't drive down there. But I guess that's exactly what they're trying to go for. Is to
Yeah, well,
people...
you've got, in the East Coast, particularly in the Northeast, you have really good, what I consider really good, public transportation.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So you can, I mean, I lived in Boston, this is 40 years ago. Back in the day, I didn't own a car for 4 years. Didn't need one. I could get within 50 miles of the city with no problem, including going out home to see my parents on weekends when my dad didn't pick me up. All he had to do was pick me up from where the bus dropped me off, the Howard Johnson's, right off the highway, which is about 3 or 4 miles from home.
Okay.
No big deal. Now, the cities that they were talking about, Stockholm, Singapore, and London. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Well, before I get to that, I had mentioned $11.52 for cars, $25.34 for trucks, and taxi and ride-hailing cars could face a separate charge of $2 to $5 per ride.
Wow.
What?
Have you ever been in Manhattan?
No.
They take personal space to a whole new level on the street. I'm talking, these guys miss each other literally by inches. It's crazy. Anyway, I wanted to skip. I want to start with Singapore, and I do it for a reason. Singapore was one of the first cities to try congestion pricing back in the mid-'70s. Their current plan, they call it now the electronic road pricing system. You got to have an electronic unit and a smart card, which registers a fee whenever it passes under a network of 80 gantries concentrated in the main business district and along major highways. Notice this is the same setup. Illinois tollway, I-88.
Yeah.
I have one. I think it's cool. It works neat, and I pay toll. And it's a direct way into Chicago, so it was worth it. But the way that they price it, the way that Illinois does it, if I use the electric device and prepay, it's half the price of me using cash. Cash is double.
Wow.
If the electronic toll is $1.80, it's $3.60 with cash.
Oh.
Yeah. Took me a few years to wise up. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing because then you get a report of every time you hit the tolls and how much it charged you. All automatic. No beef. Now, in the case of Singapore, 38 cents to $4.57 with no fees on Sundays and public holidays. They review the fee 4 times a year and decide to raise or lower rates. Now, the reason why I jumped to Singapore first, Singapore was the first city in the world to actually launch an autonomous taxi service. They were first, about 2 years ago.
They actually have autonomous vehicles over there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now, granted, it was a 4.5 mile square.
Okay.
But they said, based on what they found out, they could reduce the number of private vehicles in Singapore by 2/3.
Well, that would decrease traffic.
Yeah.
From 900,000 vehicles to 300,000 vehicles.
Wow.
And they tried, one of the things they tried is congestion pricing. Another, Stockholm. I love Stockholm and thought it was awful quiet. I was there, trying to think of when I was there. 4 years before they went to, well, actually 7 years before they went to congestion pricing. And they said everything turned when the immense traffic effects were seen on the streets. After the first few weeks of implementing it, the traffic didn't return. Traffic entering the congestion zone started dropping immediately to about 350,000 vehicles a day in 2006 from about 450,000 a year earlier, or 22% reduction. They also used gantries and cameras to automatically register vehicles in a 13-mile square congestion zone covering the central city and a major thoroughfare. Vehicles are charged a fee every time they pass one of 18 control points from 6 in the morning to 6:30 in the evening on weekdays. Obviously, emergency services and large buses are exempt. Fees vary by time of day, with a maximum of $4.36 at rush hour and a cap of $13.07 a day. So there's some opportunities there, and I think that Manhattan may actually adopt some of that. Another hour together has now come to an end. Be sure to tune in next time we do it all over again. On behalf of the RoadWorthy Drive crew, thanks for listening. This has been RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester is a copyrighted presentation of the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use is prohibited without the written consent of the Motor News Media Corporation.
Before we depart, I mentioned 3 cities. London actually is the one that got the most publicity. Did not realize that Stockholm was involved also. And it's funny because when I was in Stockholm about 18 years ago, I considered Stockholm to be one of the quietest cities I had ever heard. But then again, it was evening after rush hour. So I didn't even realize they had a problem. So if it's even less, wow. Because, man, it's quiet at night in the middle of that city. I mean, really, really quiet. In the case of London, they thought about it, congestion pricing, for decades before finally creating an 8-mile square congestion zone in the center of the city. That was back in 2003. They did get some benefits, but London's case, it's a flat $16 between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Now,
regardless.
I have a question.
And on weekdays, up from $7 when the program started.
I noticed that you did not bring up motorcycles or like electric scooters. Was there a
And your
different
point?
I was just curious if they were included in the pricing for the
The story
congestion
did
zone?
not mention that.
Okay. I was just curious.
And I'm thinking, because I'm thinking one of the cities did exempt those.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
trying to figure out which one it was. I don't think it was London. I'm trying to find it. Since you asked that question, I thought I remembered reading that. And I'm trying to find it really quick before we bail here. Let me hold on.
I was just curious because
Well, now you've got me curious because I thought I remember seeing something like that as being one of the vehicles that are exempted.
right.
And I just want to, oh, here you go. Let's see. Fees, other cyclists are fighting for motorists. I don't see it, but I thought I read it. Apparently, I did not.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, but I could have sworn. I don't see it.
Oh, well.
I don't see it. A question to ask. We'll keep our eyes open, but I would think that motorcycles, electric vehicles, and things like that would tend to be exempt.
Okay.
I know London was making a move to exempt anything that wasn't electric from the city core in a few years. So I know that was coming. His Uber was having a rabbit or something about it.
No.
So, well, folks, that wraps it up here. On behalf of Jack, Sasha, and myself, we appreciate you tuning in for RoadWorthy Drive Behind the Scenes. So for this hour, we thank you and bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.